Daheng will finally get his long-awaited upgrade. With the first stage of patch 1.3, we will have Imbibitor Lunae available in the banner. So, with what we already know about him, is he a must pull or not? I'll give you 4 reasons why he is not a must pull. Daniel is hungry for his skill points. No, you don't understand yet. Let me explain a bit. His whole kit is entirely focused on a combination between his skill and basic attack, having a mechanic quite similar to Blades. Daheng can use his skill 3 times in a row without consuming his turn. For each use, he upgrades his basic attack. This turns it into a blast attack and increases his damage output. However, with each use of his skill, it consumes a skill point. So, in one turn, this guy can consume up to 3 skill points. But you might say, hey, Zilla does the same thing. Correct, that's why the expectations for him are so high. He needs to be able to offer the same amount of damage as a hunt character to compensate for his monstrous skill point consumption. Another important trait is that he can also consume stacks of a special status instead of using his skill points. But these stacks are only obtained after using his ultimate, and his ultimate costs 140 freaking energy. So, while it's good, it's going to be quite difficult to help reduce the skill point consumption. Usually, when we are looking for a destruction character, they are expected to be able to take a beating. That's not the case with Daniel. He's a hyper carry through and through. His HP and defense are quite on the low end compared to any other destruction character. The primary feature that puts him in this class is that a good portion of his attacks are blasts and not a single target or AoE. So don't expect him to be some sort of substitute for your Clara or Blade. He'll be competing for the same position as your Zilla or Yun Ting. It seems like Hoyoverse wants to make things difficult for our friend Daheng because his banner is also one of the worst. There are no new characters available, but to make matters worse, we also have several characters that are already free to play. To start, we have Yukong, whom we've already received, and if you're using her, it might be an interesting moment to get her to E6. But if not, she's quite expensive to build, and for most people, there are easier buffers. Then there is Mort 7th, who will once again be in a banner. While she's a good shooter, you probably have better options for your team. Perhaps the only exception is if you need something specific with ice and preservation, which in this case, your only other option will be Gepard. Finally, we have Oster, who will also be in her second banner, but I see her as the best option among those 3. She's one of the best Harmony characters, offering a lot of attack percentage and speed to the whole team, especially when she reaches E6, which will make easier to maintain her buff without consuming any skill points. It is worth noting that all of them are characters that complement Imbibitor Lunae well and will make easier to create a team around him, even if you already have them. Composition is another challenging aspect of using Imbibitor Lunae. Due to his limitations and mode of operation, he's not a character that you can simply swap into your composition. You need to build a team around him, which already makes it clear that will be a high cost. To begin with, due to his high skill point consumption, forget about a sub-damage dealer. You need to think about characters who help as much as possible while consuming the minimum amount of skill points, so that your hyper carry can wreak havoc on your enemies. Asta and Ting Yun are great options to pair with Daheng, especially because Ting Yun helps with energy recovery that enables that ultimate earlier to help reduce the skill point consumption. For your healers and shooters, the best options are undoubtedly Locha and Gepard, who have 0 skill point consumption. If after all these points presented, you still need a hyper carry, then pull for him. But I will also tell you what I'm going to do to be quite transparent. I might pull for him, but for content creation purposes, to be able to create guides, look at his lore a bit, and so on. However, I don't think he will have a place in my compositions. My impression, especially when I see that he has to reach Zilla's level, is that he might become a G1, where the hype was so high that the character will get nerfed to oblivion. That's it, guys. What do you think about him? Will you pull him? Leave in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much, and see you next time.
It's that time again.